This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and far. Let's talk about it, man. Canelo Alvarez has ducked Jermall Charlo, and he's ducked David Benavidez consistently and religiously. Let me say it again. He's ducked these guys consistently and religiously, and it's a sham. It's a apostasy. It's a travesty. As a matter of fact, this is ridiculous on so many epic levels, so many epic magnitudes, and so many epic variations. Because we have to ask ourselves these cardinal rules. Why does a boxer get to skate the way that he gets to skate? When Floyd was pressured to fight Sugar Shane Mosley, he did it. When he was pressured to fight Oscar De La Hoya, he did it. When he was pressured to fight Canelo Alvarez, he did it. Floyd always made the concessions with the fans. Whether they want to accept it or not, he always did it. When Floyd was pressured to fight Zab Judah, a black fighter, because they keep saying Floyd's never fought a black fighter in his prime. Zab Judah was a black fighter in his prime. Chop poorly. The time that Floyd fought him, he was very dangerous. He was a very dangerous southpaw. And Floyd fought him in his prime. I don't understand what people don't get here. Diego Corrales, y'all can say what y'all want. I don't know if the Corrales names messes with you, but that's a black guy with a Hispanic last name. Let me say it again. He's a black guy with a Hispanic last name. And Floyd fought him at his best and demolished him, dismantled him, man. Dominated him. So that whole nonsense about Floyd ain't fought no black fighters in their prime, that gets easily debunked here. But Canelo Alvarez gets to fight Floyd Mayweather and Erislandy Lara and says, you know what? I am petrified. I am scared of elite black fighters. I want no parts of them because of the level of exposure that they did to me. Those two fights psychologically has damaged Canelo Alvarez. We're being honest with ourselves and we're telling ourselves the truth. Those fights have basically messed him up mentally. So any opposition that looks black, that is elite, that has black DNA in them, i.e. Jermall Charlo, i.e. David Benavidez, if you trace them correctly, you would understand what I'm talking about. This scares and it petrifies Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez knows that his legacy can be overnight demolished and dismantled by fighting any one of these fighters. He understands that. He gets it. And he's afraid of it. He's afraid of the notion of it. He's afraid of the verification of it. He's afraid of the identity of it. He's afraid of the certification of it. He's afraid of the appropriation, the authorization, and the verification of it because it scares him. There's a finalization. There's a totalization of this that petrifies and scares him. Because with Jermall Charlo, he's getting athleticism and explosion like nobody's business. A guy that can transcend weight class after weight class. It's not a foregone conclusion of why this man has ducked him for 9 years. The proof is in the pudding. Eddie Reynoso's respect of Jermall Charlo. Canelo Alvarez's respect of Jermall Charlo. They're telling you in their body language. Body language tells you 80% of a person's motives. 20% can be figured out through them actually saying things. But 80% is in their body language. And the 80% of the body language, this is where the 80-20 rule applies. Canelo Alvarez is letting you know he does not want free smoke with Jermall Charlo. This is very evident. And when he does finally take that fight, it will be because he has nowhere to run, he has nowhere to hide. But when it's all said and done, David Benavidez is just as dangerous. Because David Benavidez is tall, he can jab, he can box, he has power in both hands. He can literally knock you out. And He Knows Everything has said this infamously so many videos ago, so many months ago. And he's talked about it. There's no such thing as a great night chin. The chin is only great night because it hasn't touched the right fucking punch. The right fucking punch has not tested the chin. And if the right punch tests that chin, there's no such thing as a great night chin. Let me say it again. If the right punch tests the chin, there's no such thing as a great night chin. So we have to be honest here in boxing when we talk about these things. And we have to tell ourselves truths. And the truth is he's ducking Jermall Charlo. The truth is he's ducking David Benavidez. Only Cinnamon Alvarez fanboys. Only those that snort cinnamon dust. Only those that sniff the cinnamon dust of a horchata. Only those that eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you don't get the reference, I can't help you to get it. They will come to a finality and a totality and a conclusive state that Canelo Alvarez is this supposed great fighter. And they're telling themselves in delusions of grandeur, in grander delusions, that Canelo Alvarez, Jermall Charlo would be a big upset. No, it won't be a big upset. It would be a lines only beatdown. This is not no upset, because Jermall Charlo would emphatically beat up Canelo Alvarez. We saw Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. That told us everything we needed to know in terms of him being exposed at the highest levels. We know that he can be exposed. And Caleb Plant is nowhere near the fighter that Jermall Charlo is. He's nowhere near the fighter that David Benavidez is. These guys are killers. Killers move in silence. These guys have been clamoring for Canelo Alvarez. They've been wanting the Canelo Alvarez fight from day one because they know that Canelo Alvarez has fake bravado. They could sniff it off of him. They know that they can beat Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez knows this too, and this is why he's prolonging the inevitable fate. Let me say it again. This is why he's prolonging the inevitable fate. You only prolong an inevitable fate because you know deep down the realities behind that fate. This is truth-telling fashion. So when it's all said and done, in its most visceral form of cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-telling fashion, we have to be honest with ourselves here. Facts over feelings, logic over bias. You have other people on YouTube say these things, but HeKnowsEverything's been saying these things from day one. It's facts over feelings and logic over bias. And the facts over feelings tells us he's ducked Jermall Charlo for a whopping 9 years of duckage. That's a travesty. That's a shame. That's an apostasy. He sat here and doesn't want free smoke with David Benavidez. Basically found a way to get David Benavidez stripped so that he can unofficially be undisputed. He's not undisputed because he didn't beat everyone up. He didn't beat up David Benavidez. So how can you call yourself undisputed? This is in actuality disputed, meaning it's in fucking dispute. So when it's all said and done, our words say one thing, Canelo Alvarez's words say one thing, but let me teach you guys something, just like HeKnowsEverything's been teaching you in the Alpha Male Chronicles series. Your actions speak louder than your words. Your actions tell people what your true motives are. There's what we say, and there's what we do. And what we do speaks more volumes than what we say. This is why the good book tells us to be doers of the word and not be sayers of the word. And in action, in looking at things from an action-based standpoint, Canelo Alvarez does not want free smoke with the likes of Jermall Charlo. He does not want free smokes with David Benavidez. If he did, he would have been said, I'm calling you guys' bluff out, and he would have fought these guys. Just like he fought Billy Joe Saunders when he knew that there was basically a loophole in that. Just like he fought Caleb Smith when he knew there was a loophole in that. Just like he fought Rocky Fielding when he knew it was a loophole in that. You see where I'm going with this? Just like he fought even Caleb Plant when he knew that there was a nosedive paid to lose situational loophole in that. There's always a loophole with this guy. He cannot fight anyone that he knows can realistically beat him. This is what the ghost that Canelo Alvarez is afraid of. It's afraid of him looking at himself in the mirror and challenging greatness personification. This is why he is greatness mimication. Because greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. Greatness mimication. Oh, greatness mimication can be beyond hindered and beyond stopped. Let me say it again. Greatness mimication can be beyond hindered and beyond stopped. So when it's all said and done, those that say that Canelo Alvarez will stop David Benavidez, those that say that Canelo Alvarez will beat up Jermall Charlo like he's a tomato can, stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense and go go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. Because that's what you guys say. Canelo Alvarez has been doing a lot of talking on the situation between both fighters. But then there's our actions. And our actions speak louder than our words. And what is his actions telling you? If you want smoke, it's free. But you can't smoke for free. If you want smoke, it's free. But you can't smoke for free. If you want smoke, it's free. But you can't smoke for free. If you want smoke, it's free. But you can't smoke for free. His actions, the actions are telling you if you want smoke, it's free. But you can't smoke for free. It's telling you straight up. And it's telling you from a cardinal standpoint that these guys are not serious. I keeps the foot on the what? Yeeks. I keeps the foot on the what? Yeeks. Canelo Alvarez does not want to fight Jermall Charlo. He does not want to fight David Benavidez, because if he did, talk is cheap. Sign a contract, make everything on equal and fair terms, and then we will take you serious. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out. Go ahead, He Knows.